handle the truth.
Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper, and we are sitting here watching Bitcoin. This is a daily chart here, if you don't know. But we're watching for some support. And right now, we are getting a nice bounce here off of our, well, this is a couple days ago. This is February 26th, but September 26th. But we are watching that this has been our support level. I am watching some levels here on the 4 hour. It's going to be right there, coming in line with our point of control, our dynamic reactor, and a 236 fib. We've also got a value area low sitting right there below us. Right now, I'm watching for a bounce from this level, guys, and I am in a long also on top of my short. But yeah, that's what we're watching. We're hoping that everything holds here. But right now, I do think that October continues. We are seeing a little bit of weakness in the stock market this morning. But overall, guys, watching the crypto bubbles. On the daily, a little bit of red. On the hourly, a lot of green. We are starting to see a turnaround here. So we're going to get into all of it, break it all down for you guys, and show you guys what levels you need to be watching. Also got some news today, and we have FOMC minutes. We're going to talk about what that could look like here for the government shutdown, which continues still on October 8th, 10/10. I think that by 10/10 we should have be through this, but all that and more today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats, get your notebooks out. Class is in session. I will see you on the other side. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report, brought to you by ChartPrime, the best indicators in the business when you need to trade like it's serious. Get some serious indicators. Let's go over and go ahead and bring up the man, the myth, the legend, the Mexican Superman, OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing today, man?
No, doing fantastic. Yesterday was a great night. Today's like I didn't want to go out of bed because it's like chilly out there. It's been raining the whole night. Like I still need a good hot coffee. But other than that, doing fantastic, doing fantastic. I did had a lot of alerts throughout the night. So icons are moving, not much, but are getting some moves.
Yep.
But other than that, doing great. How about
You know,
you?
the alt season index is down to 66. It's continuing to the downside. Bitcoin dominance picking up, which we talked about here on the show. If you guys have been tuning in, you know that we've been saying that we were about to get a flip on Bitcoin dominance, and watch out for that because Bitcoin usually leads the way. That's how it happens there. Let's go give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now before we get too many people in here. We got Emma Coiner in the house with us. We got Crypto Coin Mindset. We are going to be redirecting over to Crypto Coin Mindset this morning. So we will see you over there, Keith and T.I. Joe. Shout out to BC Port Corp, Alexandra G, our beautiful mod queen. Little Fish is in here with us. Wick's wife, Fine 89, who wishes that she was a little bit taller. That's what she said this morning on Alex O Crypto Show. She said, Two-Dub said, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Kyle Fields, what's up? I see you there. Duality C is in the house with us. Eric Wallen, the greatest troll on X. If you guys don't follow Eric Wallen on X, you should. It's entertainment. I am completely retired, and I enjoy my retirement activity of entertainment of following Eric Wallen on X, man. Dude's funny. He has no F's to give. Who else we got in here? Lad Lewis, good morning, guys. He said, good morning to you, Lad. Appreciate you being here. And All Set joining us in the chat. And I think, Donato Cabrera. Can't miss you, man. Good morning to you, Donato. Ninja Glock, appreciate you. And Crypto Princess was here from YouTube. Shout out to the princess. All hell the princess. I think that's about it. Yeah. And then, of course, we got our pinned message up there. You can join our Discord just by being a member. R.S. Miller in the house with us also, all the way over in Arizona. You still in Arizona today, bro? Or are you traveling? Shout out to R.S. Miller. And set alerts. Yes, set your alerts. Like, subscribe, and set your alerts so that you get notified on everything here on the show. And if she's talking about Eric Wallen, then yes, you want to set your alerts there too, because Eric Wallen does a lot of replies. And so you want to make sure you get all of his alerts so that you can see when he's trolling on some of the people out there. Love it. So yeah, RS Miller still chilling in Arizona. Awesome. All right, OC, what are we looking at on the Bitcoin chart, man? You know what time it is. BC Port Corp, he's got the song down, man. Wish I had a rabbit with a hat and the bat and the 6-foe Impala. Let's go over to your chart, OC, and take a look at what Bitcoin's doing today, bro.
Absolutely. So let's get it going right from where we started, where we left out on Friday. Remember, we were talking about a possible bounce, rather some about these areas. We did not went exactly to the downside and hit the trend line. Remember, this still trend line was a speculation trend line, right? But since we had some confluence right there, which is at this point almost completely gone, well, then there we go. We were looking to get somewhere around this area. That's why we were aiming at a horizontal, this horizontal right here. All right. And then based on that horizontal, setting a trend line. So it seems like right now it's been set. We already have a bounce confirming here. This is the very bottom on that golden predictive range, and we have a very straight area to follow along. So let's just log that trend line on there, and well, right now we are on the next biggest area of resistance. Look at this. We have a predictive range, two predictive ranges, and a resistance zone. Not only that, well, talking about the elephant in the room, the huge order block right in here. So very important. We will need to see how it behaves once we're breaking through that 50% line, because it is still highly bearish. But we'll see if last minute it doesn't start moving around, and or if we act up on the price action and we get a dead cat bounce. In this case, since we had a very slow flip of the ribbon, I'm gonna be waiting for that crossover. Nonetheless, the money flow seems to suggest that we are going to be taking down that order block, or at least that order block is going to start dissipating as we see that increase our money flow. Remember, we're not the only ones watching money flow, and those orders in the loud order block are not fixed forever. Remember, whoever pushed that order can decide whether to leave it to be taken or to remove it not to be taken. So that is something to keep in mind. Other stuff that I'm looking into here, it is that we are already trying to turn around, and I'm going to be looking for that reversal diamond. So is it a good area to take a long? Not just yet. We need to take this area, breakout, retest, continuation, or better yet, breakout, taking the previous high, retest, getting this retest solid into this trend line, 3 bounce trend line, and then off we go. So sometimes we need to just give it some time. And if we're having a break of structure here as we're going up, we might be jumping into one quarter of a position, then maybe re-adding in here, and then off we go to have an average somewhere around 125,000. Nonetheless, at this point, we're going to be looking not to fail the trend. And basically, that will be it. That will be the only job of Bitcoin. So we are on Pumptober. We'll see how great can we do it. But so far, looks like we might be able to take on these resistances. We still need to wait for that confirmation, but still seems like we're going to be taking down that loud order block. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper. And that's basically it.
Awesome. Shout out to Buck joining us here in Lunar Beaches Crypto. Got the LBC in the house. So much drama in the LBC. It's kind of hard being Stoop Do Double G. So shout out to LBC, Lunar Beaches Crypto, in here with us. And Buck, please don't do anything wrong to my thumbnail today, because Buck likes to make turn my thumbnails into triple X porn clips. So I just he does it. I don't know why. He's a child. He's a child at heart. And so if you guys didn't see the thumbnail, I'll show you why he likes to do it. Let me pull it up here. There we go. There we go. Jump over here. Do you see this open mouth Piper? He's looking up like, wow. Yeah, he likes to draw. He likes to draw on this because he's a child. Buck was the one that drew all of the bad pictures inside of the Porta Johns in downrange. I know he was. So I'm aware. I'm aware of which guy Buck was on a deployment. So, all right, man, let's go ahead and get in here and let's get this news rolling because we got some stuff to go through, and we'll come back and take a look at what's going on with gold. Of course, we got to look at silver, and I got to tell you, when we get to the gold and silver, I got to tell you about, I stopped yesterday at an exchange here in Rockwall, Texas, and we talked about selling some of my silver. So not doing it yet, and I'll tell you why. Let's go jump over to the news, though. And let's get that down. Taking a look at the news here today, guys. Looking at the crypto coin market cap here, total crypto market cap here on into the Cryptoverse metrics. We're sitting, look, we hit that 4% line, and look, we're back. We come back down just a little bit. So I told you, anytime we get close to this median line, we seem to have a little pullback, but it keeps rising up. So that's good. If it keeps going that direction and price keeps bouncing up against it, we should keep going up. But we did get a little bit of a pullback. Negative, we're undervalued by 5.96% right now. Total market cap's at 4.2 trillion though. So it does keep going up. It's awesome. Looking at the crypto wristbands, we're still sitting in a 2x DCA at 53.8%. How about Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance sitting at 58.26% right now with stablecoins. Take away those stablecoins, we're at 62.65% there on that dominance. Looking at the metrics for the altcoin season index, I'm just watching to see Buck reply back. I'm waiting for it. He's typing, and he's a Marine. He's a crayon-eating Marine, so it takes him some time to type. So his brain doesn't work that quick. He's been hit in the head one too many times. Altcoin season index 66.67%. It's currently neither Bitcoin season nor altcoin season. We are continuing to sell off from that range right there. This is what we talked about. Look, guys. We don't spend much time in here. It usually turns right back around. We hit it, and then right back down we go. And now we're sitting at 66.67% on that alt season index. How about, shout out to Mab. Mab, good afternoon. Where are you at, Mab? Where are you at in the world? I'm just curious with the GA at 9 a.m. my time. So, let's go look at the last 24 hours of liquidations here. Past 24 hours, 156,076 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $567 million, guys. Over $500 million liquidated because everybody was super bullish. Good job, Buck. I'm proud of you. Take the W. That's right. Largest single liquidation orders on OKX. It was a Bitcoin trade for $8.74 million. And then let's go take a look at the fear and greed index today. Looking at Bitcoin fear and greed, we're sitting at 60, still sitting in greed. South Africa. Awesome. Appreciate seeing you there. No worry, Mab. You can yell at us. It's okay. Fear and greed on Ethereum sitting at 57, also sitting in greed. And I do want to point out something here. This, I have to bring in my Pi Bear stuff every now and then. This is a little concerning right here. Just in $4.16 billion in Bitcoin was just moved from wallets that were dormant for 3 to 5 years. It's the largest this year. Do they know something? That is a lot of Bitcoin from old wallets waking up. Keep that in mind. Be aware. Don't be scared. Be prepared. So, and then we'll look at this in a little bit. I think this is a very, very awesome breakdown here of what really is going on in the world. So we'll look at that. Looking at the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2K all sitting in the green this morning. We are seeing a turnaround in the markets after a little pullback this morning. The Dow Jones up 0.11%, and the S&P up about 0.4%, and the NASDAQ up 0.67%, Russell 2K up about 0.25%, and then VIX not hitting above 17. So pulling back a little bit, calming down. Looks like the market volatility is chilling out slightly there. How about the bonds market? We are seeing a pullback on the 10-year yield. We did see a slight change in the go on with the 30-year mortgage rates. So we'll go over that in a second also, but we're sitting at 4.115%. A little bit up from where we were at the 4.0, but this thing's still holding strong despite all of the rate cut news going on. Gold and silver. Gold sitting at $4,000 right now, up about 1.46%, and silver at $48.48, up 2% on the daily. Platinum and palladium getting a nice pump. Platinum is up 3.44%. Palladium is up 7.76%. Copper slightly down this morning. Goldman Sachs. Let's talk about the stock market, because there's been a lot of talk lately on, hey, we're in an AI bubble, right? We talked about that even here on the show recently. But Goldman Sachs says that we're not yet in a bubble, but still, issues a warning for investors. The market is awash with talks of artificial AI, artificial intelligence, AI. Corporates are rushing to outline their strategies. Cash is flowing into AI-related stocks, which is really just like $100 billion from this company to $100 billion to that company, which is paying $100 billion to this company. It's crazy. The circle of money that is going around the AI world. I'm sure BC Port Corp has talked about that in depth on his Good Morning Crypto segment here on Piper Academy. But investors have flocked to technology firms taking advantage of and enabling AI's development, sending their share prices soaring. U.S. stocks have hit repeated record high over recent weeks, with tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite up over 27% in the past 12 months. With all the fears of a bubble often equated to the dot-com boom and bust, big-name investors and banks appear split on whether a bubble is actually here. Goldman Sachs has placed its bet in the section of no for now. That's what they're saying. And if you take a look here, and yesterday, Graham Stephan actually had a really good breakdown on this. Also, if you guys haven't seen that, you should go take a look. He said there's some key differences of what we have going on right now and the dot-com bubble. Despite this, the banks warned investors to diversify amid high levels of concentration in the market and increased competition in the artificial intelligence space. There are good reasons to diversify exposure to offset the concentration, but it doesn't necessarily point to an excessive bubble. So why are we not in a bubble territory as of right now? Irrational speculations about the growth future and fundamental growth. That's what it's been rising on, adding that firms leading the industry with strong returns typically have healthy balance sheets. The sector is dominated by large incumbents such as Meta, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, which is another reason that Goldman is not worried for right now. Bubbles tend to develop when there is a combined surge in stock prices and valuations to an extent that the aggregate value, the average value of the companies associated with the innovation exceed the future potential flows that is likely to generate. So basically, if the total average of all of the companies involved are valued at a price that the companies cannot potentially get to, then you probably have a bubble, right? However, the strategist noted that the Magnificent Seven's aggregate value in 2025, when looking at the firm's forward price to earning ratio, is just half of what it was with the tech giants in the dot-com bubble in 2000. So we still have quite a bit of room to move to get equated to what we are in, what we saw back in the dot-com bubble. So how do we diversify out of tech, Piper? I've said that here. Defense contractors are always a good one. And defense stock plays, Costco, Walmart's, Procter and Gamble, things like that. So BC has a lot of breakdowns on that, Eric Wall, and you should watch Good Morning Crypto. He's got some good stuff on how to diversify broader. Uranium, that's another good one. So the Goldman Sachs note comes days after the bank's CEO David Solomon warned that stock markets were due a drawdown in the next year or two. Guys, stock market may continue to make runs here despite what we see happen with crypto. So keep all of that in mind. My guess is that I think all the ingredients are in place for some kind of a blow off. Jones said Monday on CNBC Squawk Box. History rhymes a lot, so I would think some version of it is going to happen again. If anything, now is so much more potentially explosive than 1999. And remember, we still had a whole year before we hit the dot-com bubble. So fears of bubbles has led investors to look to so-called safe havens, with gold seeing its price near $4,000 an ounce for the first time ever on Tuesday. So not quite there yet on the AI bubble. I think we still have a little bit of wiggle room. Wiggle. I know right now. Alexander G is already over there hitting the keyboard. A little bit of wiggle room on the stock market side. Let's take a look at the crypto bubbles. Bitcoin right now flat on the daily, up about 0.2% on the hourly. Ethereum took a little dumpsy do yesterday, down 3.3%. BNB flat. XRP down 1.3. Solana down 1. How about big movers on here? Cardano, not 2.2 is not high enough. Got the rookie numbers. Got to pump those numbers up if you want to be listed here.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
How about Mantle? There we go. Mantle down at number 21 is up 11.6 today on the daily. And really, overall, guys, kind of flat. Everyone yesterday talking about the market is dumping, and Bitcoin was down like 3%, man, and it's recovered almost all of it now. So just settle down. Settle down. How about the government shutdown? Is it still going on? Yes, it's still going on. What is our percentage chance of a opening by the 10th here? Let's see. We're looking at a 1% chance that we see an opening by tomorrow. That would be Thursday. October 10th through the 14th, we're now at a 21% chance. It's down 6%. And October 15th or later is now at a 79% chance of getting an opening here of the government, a reopening. October 15th. I'm still thinking by 10/10. I think by this Friday evening we get it so that Monday morning they're back at work. But we will see. We will see. Economic data, guys. You had the 30-year mortgage rates come out this morning. Went from 6.46 to a 6.43. You're not going to feel that difference hardly at all. Mortgage rates refusing to come down. It's still expensive to buy a house and still expensive to get a loan for a house. Big one today that we're going to get. We do have a couple of speakers today, 8:20 and 8:30 today. That's 9:20, 9:30 on the East Coast. That's going to be a couple of Feds speaking there, but we're getting the FOMC minutes today, and that's going to be where people are really trying to glean the details of the last FOMC's meeting. It's the breakdown of all the wording, the verbatim transcript. So that's what we're looking at there today for the big news. Tomorrow we got a lot more Fed speakers speaking, and of course we are not going to get our jobless claims, which we already believe were bad. That's what we think they were, according to some stuff we were looking at yesterday. Fed minutes may offer hints about future interest rate cuts. That's why everyone's going to be looking at it today, because we haven't gotten any Fed data. The Fed Reserve could be inching toward 2 more interest rate cuts this year, and Wednesday's meeting minutes may show how the majority of the officials are thinking about the rate cuts. The minutes due out today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time cover the Fed September 16th and 17th policy meeting, where officials lowered rates by 0.25%. Investors will be reading for clues about whether the Fed's easing trajectory will continue or maybe come to a pause next month. Inflation is at its highest since January and has remained above the Fed's 2% goal for nearly 5 years. At the same time, the labor market is weakening. We talked about that this week. Weakening labor market. Inflation expected to be even higher in the months ahead. That's called stagflation. And so do they lower rates to stimulate the economic growth or keep the rates elevated to fight the persistent inflation? You couldn't pay me to do the Fed job right now. And I know you guys keep joking around about Piper for Fed. You couldn't pay me enough to take that job, because this right here is called a catch-22, guys. Would not want anything to do with that. Last month's economic projection showed that 10 officials thought there should be 2 more cuts this year, while 9 wanted there to be 1 or fewer. Operative word, or fewer there. Fed officials are clearly at odds over how to proceed with rate cuts. The minutes may help illuminate where the disagreement lies and how divided the officials are. And what are we looking for right now on October 29th FOMC? Are we going to see rate cuts? Right now, 7.5% chance of a pause. We have a 92.5% chance as of today, as of this minute, 92.5% chance that we get a 25 basis point rate cut. And of course, all eyes on this Fed meeting, Fed minutes today to get where are we with that. Let's go ahead and take a look at gold. Gold at $5,000. Here are the best ways to gain exposure to the safe haven asset. Gold scaled a new peak, smashing $4,000 an ounce, a milestone that set Wall Street abuzz as the metal hits new highs. Veteran hedge fund manager Ray Dalio has urged investors to allocate as much as 15% of their portfolio into gold as debt levels, inflation, and government spending erode the confidence in the U.S. dollar. Let's just say it. Industry experts say there's still room for gold to run. We are now aiming for $5,000 in 2026. Welcome to the $5,000 party. We were saying that here when it hit 3,000. So welcome there. Hedge fund manager Ray Dalio. Glad to see you. You're at the party now. Heads Nikki Shields, the head of metal strategy at MKS PAMP, however, cautions the gold trade could be getting crowded tactically. Gold's risen too much too fast. $500 in 25 days is around and is around 25% of its 200-day moving average. Historically, a premium above 20% is short-lived. We're 25%. A premium above 20% is short-lived. And she is expecting a pullback on gold to $3,600. Of course, gold bars and jewelry getting stupid expensive. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Duo Cam with OC. OC, I went yesterday and talked to there's a gold and silver broker here in Rockwall, Texas, and he does 95% spot for his buys, which is pretty damn good. So I went and talked to him about selling some of my silver, and he said, look, I think that gold's getting really high right now. I do think that there's a possibility that we see gold get close to that $5,000 range, but I think that it's going to get a lot more volatility as it goes up to that level, which I don't disagree with them. But the interesting thing that he said is that he thinks that a lot of people are going to go, gold's had its run and move into silver. He said silver should actually be about $80 right now based on his uh, projections of growth. And so he thinks that as gold starts to hit that crazy volatility and people get scared that its top is in, that it's going to all shift over to, oh, not all, but a lot of it's going to shift over into silver because it's had a late run up. So, may not be selling my silver yet, OC, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on gold and silver right now. And we'll jump over once you get done. If you have anything to say, we'll say here, and then we'll jump over to the chart on gold and silver. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that gold is getting into a shaky levels right now? And is it going to start shifting over into silver? What's your thoughts? You're muted, bro.
Oh man. So, yes. I absolutely think that we're getting into some ranging zones, at least, or a pullback zone. I mean, if we just look at the chart, it has been a non-stop up only chart. I mean, non-stop. Look at that. Not even a little range worth to be saying, "Hey, this was a correction," right? So look at that. Just itty bitty
T-
tiny corrections
pull
in
up
here.
a pull up a 200-day moving average on there too, because they're saying it's about 25% of that. And let's go back and look historically, because it said uh, moves 20% above the 200-day moving average. And I don't know if they're using an EMA or an SMA. You may have to play with it. But it said 20% above that line has been shaky area for gold in the past, and we're at 25%. So I'd love to see that on the chart.
Let's see. Let me see if I can add them really quickly. You mentioned a what, a 25 EMA?
No, it's 200 day, just a 200 day.
300. Perfect. Let me make it here really quickly. Add it. Input the 200. Okay. And it's basically jumping in with a dynamic reactor. That's the EMA.
Okay.
SMA shouldn't be that different.
No,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be. So let's go. Let's put that on the daily, and let's go back and see historically. If you can clean up the chart a little bit, just look at that, and let's see how long we've been able to stay above the 200-day historically. But you know, we have to caveat that we haven't had the scenario of the dollar dumping like we have right now either on those historics. But yeah, I'm curious just to see that.
Well, the last time that we hit or that we were entangled with 200 EMA was right here at Friday, 6 October 2023. So getting for 1 year, not crossing or nor even touching the 200 EMA on gold. So last time we saw that, let me bring this up. There we go. Here is it was, or the last touch, I would say that here it is. I don't know, the 15th or the 1920s. Why did I say the 7th or 8th? I don't know. But yeah, this has been the last areas or last touches of what is it, February 2024. Not hitting that one, so maybe it was this one. Yeah. November, October, around those areas for a final touch. Other than that, we've just been hovering above it.
Yeah, let it ride. I think we've been above that level for a while. So Nikki Shills being a little worried about that 25% sitting above that 200-day, and the historicals being that when we get 20% above it, it's been a short-lived run. I think that's been. I think that ship has sailed, Nikki. So there you go. Awesome. Look, I appreciate that, OC. What are we looking at on those charts for gold and silver? Let's go ahead and get into that.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about gold really quickly. Remember that we are looking that we have a breakout of the purple line. We were talking about that yesterday. Let me just get rid of this. And of course, let's go and clear everything here in the chart. And we're going to be going for a scenario where we count this, for example, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, and 3. Basically, we're getting to the target. This is the middle line. All right. Just in case you were not catching what I was doing, if you isolate the ranges, and I'm just picking these ranges because they're easier to follow, we have purple, gray, and then we have golden, right? So 1, 2, 3. That's what I was counting here because I quite can see the colors right there, right? So 1, 2, 3. And then from the bottom part, again, the same thing, purple, gray, and golden. And that is the blue line. Why am I going for the blue line? Because look at this. In many cases, in most of the cases, when we break the purple line, the next line to go that we follow onto it's going to be, or that we hit, it is going to be the blue line, right? So at this point, if we just count and see where is the blue line, well, then let's do it once again because I just removed this. It is 1, 2, 3, and then your blue line. So your target is basically at 4,074, and we're getting very, very close to hitting that target. Let's go back to 4 hours in here. And once again, we are on a non-stop up only trending here, which is concerning because this talks about first uncertainty in the markets and second uncertainty on fiat, right? And well, then what when we start getting some pullbacks or some psychological areas? I mean, 5,000, it is absolutely psychological number, and it will also almost duplicate the run up that we have made, right? So that is an area to be expecting some volatility. So switching to silver, I think might be making some sense. Let's go and take a look at silver. There it is, right? And let me clear this up because we have had exactly the same. I was actually expecting 1 second. Oops. Thank you for that. So I was expecting a little bit of a range here for a continuation, and you can see that despite the areas where it hit as we were expecting, the actual movement was shorter for those areas to be hit. So yes, kind of like a late run up compared to gold, but I still believe, look at that, last time that we hit the 200 or even dynamic reactor was on August the 25th, right? Yes, it's not a full year, but look at that, it's been also in an up only movement. So other than that, I would say that yeah, we might be starting seeing some gold gains rushing into silver, but I would say that silver is still on its way steadily to the upside. Let's bring out my predictive ranges, and once again we have broken this one and we are basically on target. So we could be expecting a little bit more of a ranging here throughout this area, and then deciding where will this be going. And I think the answer is pretty clear, most likely to the upside.
Fantastic. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking too, OC. That we're going to see more upside. I'm still thinking $5,000 gold in 2026 is a thing. Despite what Nikki says. Nikki, you're wrong. Shout out to Dano Crypto in the chat. Shout out to Baba Yaz, aka Bedridden, joining us in here. I appreciate you guys dropping in. Dano made a great comment here. He said, I feel like a fool for being so right about gold and silver and didn't actually trade it. Bro, I was calling for $3,000 gold when it was sub 2,000, and then when it broke 3,000, I started calling for 4,000. Don't feel bad. I still didn't buy any gold. I had silver, so I was just going to ride my silver. But I'm thinking that we will get a rotation over into silver as some of the volatility comes in. Like, yeah, I just think that it was interesting what the guy said yesterday, though, that he really feels that silver's truly undervalued right now, and that based on what gold's done and historically how they lock into each other, that silver should be much higher right now. So he thinks a lot of it's going to go over there. So let's go talk about Bitcoin real fast. I got an article here I want to talk about. $140,000 or bust. It's an either or scenario for this article here, and then we'll go look at the Bitcoin chart. What I watched on the higher time frames, 140K or bust simulation says Bitcoin odds are now 50-50. 50-50. Flip a coin, OC. We're either going to, this is it, the top's in it, we're dumping, or we're going to 140K. There is no in between. Of course, I'm going to get all the pop-ups now. Let me get rid of all of them. There we go. Here we go. Let's go talk about this article. According to The Economist, Timothy Peterson, Bitcoin has a 50% chance of topping 140K before the month ends. I think it does. I think it gets close, damn close to it. He posted that likelihood on X and backed it with a simulation work that uses a decade of price movement to map likely outcomes. Simulation based on historical data. Peterson said the model runs hundreds of simulations using daily Bitcoin prices going back to 2015. Based on those runs, he put the chance that Bitcoin finishes the month above $140,000 at 50%. He also gave a 43% probability that the price will end the month below 136K. Okay. At the time he spoke, Bitcoin was trading at $121,200. That means that the rise is about 11% would need to be hit in order to have $140,000 from its current level. Half of Bitcoin October gains may have already happened, according to this AI simulation. There's a 50% chance that Bitcoin finishes the month above 140K. And you can see observed daily is back here. Here's where we are right now going into October. And he's done this dashed line here. That's your forecast average, 68% interval, and then the 95% interval. He's got this running all the way up to about 170K here. You can see that right here behind this box. That would be about 170K. So, which is right in line with what we've talked about here for end of year. I'm thinking November 3rd, November 10th on that for end of cycle, I should say. Bitcoin set a fresh all-time high of 126,000 on Monday. Yep, then cooled off. The coin begun October at roughly $116,500. So the month has already produced gains. According to the data, October has been the second best month on average since 2013, with typical gains of about 20%. And I showed you guys that, and I'm actually going to go over here in a minute and show you that chart, and then we're going to go do some measurements. No human emotion. Peterson described his forecast as driven by data rather than human emotion. Bravo to you, Peterson. He said each projection follows price changes that mirror Bitcoin's past volatility and rhythm. That approach aims to remove bids from short-term sentiment. Still, there are limits to what historical simulations can show, mainly that it's only 10 years old. That's not a whole lot. You got 10 pieces of data. It takes about 17 to 20 to truly come up with a trend or a pattern. Bitcoin has sometimes moved in ways that did not match past patterns. Market reactions, policy moves, and other forces can push prices away from that script that history is suggesting. Market sentiment overall is remaining bullish. Other analysts on social platforms urged continued optimism after the recent high. One analyst said the market was retesting prior highs and could move higher. Bitcoin is the new hurdle rate. If you can't beat it, you have to buy it. So there you go. Let's go jump over to the returns chart. Let's take a look at October here. This is October through all of the years going back to 2013. You can see the average on this, 20.79%. Is the average move that we get. So let's go take a look at Bitcoin here and talk about that level. Right here we go. Let's take a look at this and let's just lay this out here as what I'm seeing. We're going to put this on the daily, go back here to the first, so to measure the bottom here, and we're going to measure this up. Actually, let me get to a price range. There we go. We're just going to measure this up here, 20% upside. That would be about $137,000. That's pretty damn close to the 140. That 160 range, of course, 167 to 170, we've had that laid out here on this fib chart. That's market bottoms, fib retracements. It's going to be fib cycles. There we go. Yeah, so 168 here, that's that top side level. That would be the 1.618, which historically we have hit every single cycle. So at least, at least that 1618, which would be right there. That would also be in line with our platinum pocket on the trend-based fib extension. So It's interesting that he says in the month at that 140 range, that would be about the midway line between here. And then we would be looking at the continuation of the last week of November, that last FOMO. Remember, parabolic run ups happen at the very end. The euphoric run is where you get the unrealistic projections, where we go from 140 to 167, 170 range. Right now, we did have our 0.66. And just so you guys are aware of this, let's show this here and show what we're talking about here. We've had this on the daily, this 0.66 fib here on the fib trend-based fib extensions. You can see we've had rejection, rejection, rejection city. We did have one breakup here, but we failed to hold it, and it went right back down after a swing fell pattern off of this wick. So putting this back on the weekly, you'll see this is the resistance level that we're watching, is where we have just punched above. And so if we're able to hold this 119,120 range, then we're probably looking at a retest of the 0.66 and the upside move we go. Over here, I do have a box sitting at that level. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning. It's our 4-hour dynamic reactor. You can see this has been our support after it was resistance. And historically, we do retest that. There's a resistance, there's a bounce on it right there. So I do think that if we come down to this level, we're going to be in line with the point of control. We're going to be in line with the 0.236 fib here. And that would be the area for the bounce. And I'm watching right there in the green box there. And that's, you've got the confluence of, dynamic reactor, point of control, 0.236. I think that would be the area to watch. And again, that's coming in at 120. Go back over here, 120. That's going to be your 0.66 here on the higher time frames on trend-based fibs. Totally different fibs. This one's pulled from a trend from market low to market high to market low. If you guys don't know, right there's your low of 2018, your high of 2021 to your low of 2022, giving us that level that we're at for that support, 120. And then, of course, this over here is just local fibs pulled from the low that we had back in June to the high that we had in August. So I think that it's a good possibility that that article is correct. That stimulation does continue. That 20% move that we typically see in October's would put us in right there at 137 to $140,000. So again, 50-50 chance of it, but I'll take that, and we'll just continue to push money into it on our weekly DCA. So that's what I've got on Bitcoin, OC. I am watching, again, 140 to 167. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If you got anything different you want to counterpoint, I'm always open to debate. Bring it. What do you got for me, bro?
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
Zero.
Zero?
I'm going to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Soundbite wars. Let's go.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, I mean, that is fantastic. I mean, I don't really, at this point, I don't really care what's going to be the top, right? I learned that lesson a long time ago. Trying to time it is something that we all want to do. And at this point, I think we do it for fun. And not only for fun, to also start allocating a possible reversal scenario, right? But the truth of the matter is, like, it was, when was this question asked? I think Monday, right? We have an alumni on the private classes asking about, hey, like, so this means like no more altcoin entries. This means that we're going to be looking for retracements or continuation. And well, the answer was pretty simple, right? Your trading is your trading. That means that the money that you have allocation for trading is going to stay there, and the money that you have an allocation for your DCA is also going to stay there, right? If you are starting and you want to go for the safest route, and by the way, the fastest, despite it doesn't look like it, I would say stick with the DCA. We have the Piper plan for the DCA, fantastic plan, and it lets you take some profits. Another stuff is that major indicators for topping are not there yet, although we still could be having a turnaround on November, December, a little bit later than the usual pullback. But still, I think predictably, we're going to be looking into the same area, same zones for retracement until proven otherwise. I believe, right, that this cycle is going to be a little bit different, and that we're making a flat, positive, bullish continuation, which is going to be taking us higher. But still, I'm not going to base my trading, neither my DCA, on that prediction. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and, well, be a little bit more careful when taking my profits or opening up my trades. Other than that, I think that you are spot on. I will also be looking to those some areas and will then keep my trading as is trading.
I just want to point out before you go into the alt section, historically on trend-based fib pullbacks, platinum pocket pullbacks, we've come into the 887 to 786 every single pullback for bear markets. I just want to go in. Let's go see where this would be at if we had. I'm going to unlock this one. Unlock your fibs. We're going to put this at. Let's move this up here. I want to get that, make sure that I have that in range. I want to see what this would put us at for. This is measured from bottom to top for retracements. Let's put this at 170. I mean, that would put us coming down to $48,000 Bitcoin, which would be back down to the quantum reactor down here, or dynamic reactor. Yeah, quantum, dynamic. That would put us down to the dynamic reactor down here. Let me see. Is this on daily? Yeah, this is on daily. Let me move this to chart. There we go. Chart, please. Chart right there. Okay, yeah, that's the quantum. That would put us down to the quantum reactor because the dynamic reactor is there. So dynamic reactor would be coming in about $73,000 on that level at the weekly. Quantum reactor would be coming in right at 48,600. So something to keep in mind there. And then if we were to hit that 140 level, say 140 is our top line on that, that would be putting us at like $42,000 on the pullback. And that's, guys, that's historically, we like to talk about historics. That's where we've come back down to, is that platinum pocket every single cycle. So if we came down to $42,000 Bitcoin, I'm backing the truck up in the crypto winter, man. So that's what I'm watching there. What's that?
Yeah. Could you maybe go take a look at where would it put us if the bear market low would be somewhere around 70K? That's my estimation so far. But how far would need to go to the upside to get the 70K as the bottom market? 70, 60K, somewhere around those areas.
Okay, so for the 786 to be at 70K, that would put us at $273,000 Bitcoin. Of course,
Perfect.
we don't have to have a move up that high. We don't have to have a move up that high in order to maintain that. We just have to have the ETFs buying absorption make it not a 70% drop, but a 50% drop. So keep that in mind. Matter of fact, if I go in here and we put the 50% on here, because I think that's what we'll actually see more likely is that we get that 50% pullback. And if just say like right now, that would be $71,000 from right now. If we were to pull that up and go to that 167, that 170 range.
Just in case.
Of course I'm not. That 167, that 50% fib line would put, that would put us at getting to 170,000. That would make it 93,000. If we do it off of right now, where we are right now, a 50% retracement would put us at $70,000. So interestingly enough there, OC. So what do you got on the altcoin? Let's go look at those. Let's talk about some good old altcoins today, guys. Of course, today, alt season brought to you by alt season index TA here. I mean, brought to you by ChartPrime. A little quick time for an ad, and then OC will pull up those beautiful, beautiful charts. I got to get it up here. Got to get it up.
We provide spectacular indicators to our community on a weekly basis for free. So TradingView is a platform which is basically the global authority. Our indicators live on TradingView naturally. Now, if you go over to our TradingView profile, you can see that we have a massive following. Many of these indicators will receive awards and recognition from TradingView themselves. So if you're actually serious about trading, want to take it to the next level, I would highly suggest signing up for our premium subscription. If not, we have an amazing profile on TradingView with a ton of free indicators that you can use for your trading.
There you go, guys. Check the link down below. Get 45% off your first month. on ChartPrime, the best indicators in the industry. OC, let's jump over to you and let's see what you got, bro. What are we looking at on the altcoins brought to you by ChartPrime?
Absolutely. Let's get started with Solana. So Solana, we were looking for this area of support, and yesterday we were setting up this trend line in here, right? You may also see that we have SEC today ringing those bells, MAMO and Jasby, right? We're going to be going over those. Nonetheless, I was expecting this to be a little bit of a support.
We also had a request from Dano to do AVAX. If you can look at Avalanche before you jump in on those.
Absolutely. So let me just let's just actually just do it right here. There we go. And we're going to be taking a look at that one. All right. So right after this one here. So Solana, not having the strength. Look at that indecision candle. That actually worries me a little bit that we're going to have where we were expecting that little movement to the downside, which is not that bad. I mean, at the end of it all, we're looking for some sweep of the lows, rather if they're somewhere around 214 or 208. So keep an eye. We have a very low volume here. We just have the reversal flip of the ribbon, but still creating kind of like a goose head. Remember, goose head means a little retracement, which we already have for a continuation in big retracement. Thus, this kind of setup that we are expecting maybe for a further move to the downside. So other than that, that's looking good. Let's go to AVAX. On AVAX, let me get started from the beginning. Let me get rid of the 4 EMA here. And let's see. For example, right here, we were looking for that tiny candles. We already have those tiny candles. But not only on all of those tiny candles, we have a big reversal, right? Something important, like, for example, let's see. With those tiny candles, we could have a continuation or a double bottom in case we are into a range. So are we into a range? Seems like it. We have a double phase range. Basically, if we look for a phase of a wave pattern, this is it. Seems like this is the center or the centroid of that wave. So could we hold these areas? Absolutely. We just need to keep our eye on our money flow, which is pretty low at this point. And let me make it chunkier, of course. Yes, chunky candles in the house. Let's bring it up. So rescue from the forgotten pile. So here it is. Basically, if we can get that crossover, we could be seeing those better prices. If not, brace yourself because we could be going for a little bit off a range. Let me bring this back downwards and let's see what would that range be, right? So something like this. Why would that be like this? Because we have a trend line here going to the upside. It's not about your breakout. We have support. It's about your retest. We have resistance. And if we go back to support, I think that we're going to be making some ranging areas right here. So whether you want to go long, if you're looking for a long, this is going to be your trigger, I would say. Breaking the zero lining here, right there. Having a reversal diamond right here in the center. Breakout, retest, you retest here, hold it, and then off we go. Target all the way up at 13. Oh, but this is market cap, which is the same thing. Let's go to the other AVAX. Here it is, and I guarantee you it's gonna be the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. All right, and target being all the way up 31.11. So we can create a couple of alerts like in here. Let's go for it. And we want to go for the retest right there. So we can add right here an alert. Let me just push a little bit lower. And once the price action is at this area, we need to see if we're having maybe that movement like in here, all right, where we have rejection and then breakthrough, or if we're having rejection of the zero line, or if we're having breakthrough of that zero line. That will be defining whether if we break out, continue, or if we're gonna go a little bit lower. If you're planning to go lower, you have two areas to look for. Then first channel right down here. Let me bring up there we go. My daily support and resistances. Let's make this chunkier. and we'll see that the first area of support is going to be right here at 27, and the next area of big support starts at 25 and ends at 23. Thus, the center ish being at 24. Let's just call it 24.82. So those are the next areas to look for in case we have some sweep of the lows. And well, this is something that I'm been looking into most of the icons. In fact, we have an open order on Chainlink, and guess what? We are right into an 87% bearish scenario. Right now, for now, we are on entry point. We were, or a little bit on the water. We were on gains today in the morning. We need to be careful because right now, yes, we had our tiny candles. We have a bullish divergence, but we're not seeing that flip of the ribbon really playing out that way. I'm going to keep it because we have a real chance. Look at that we are hitting the top of the range. What range? I know this is still a double phase range. Like, for example, let me do this the same way. Going the top part of the range, going down, up, down, up. All right. And what is our overall center? This one here, which takes us at the center of the upper range right up there. So going for the possibility to hit the top, I'm going to keep this long open. And if it stopped me out, that's fine. I'm going to be looking for a re-entry somewhere. You can see my alert. Let me actually push a little bit higher at 20.18, having maybe an early bounce at 20.94. So that's what I got on Link. Let's go really quick to Setcoin, our Zcash. And right here, remember, we had a hit on the support area here. We were looking for this area to be taken. It is now taken. Breakout retest. We still need to be careful because despite we have our peak performance diamond right here at the support breaking through, and we have our flip of the ribbon, we are not yet above that zero line. The money flow indicates that we are going to continue upwards, but that money flow without the momentum or without the strength. Let me bring up my strength because right now it's pointing downwards in here. So let me push it down, right? So we have not too much strength. So that means that we could be creating a dead cat bounce, bouncing off the 165, basically going a little bit lower. What is our next entry? There it is. Let me just push a little bit higher, somewhere around 111K. Be careful with Zcash or SEC because this is not a very active project to say the least, right? Other coins that I want to go over, let's go here. It is MAMO. Let's just bring it up. And right now we're getting at previous lows in here, all right? We are turning around. We almost have our flip with the ribbon. But once again, we just don't see the strength on the candles. So let's just wait for these couple of candles. Next area of entry is going to be through or at this trend line. Do we have an alert? Yes, we have an alert. So we're going to be looking for something like this and then a bounce up to this area. I'm keeping my eye on MAMO here because it's proven to actually make some good money. Like, for example, this area right here is at 92%. That means that we are basically at the bottom, like the very, very bottom. If we analyze this, like BC Port Corp will say, this have existed for just 24 hours. So what kind of analysis can we do? Not much, but I'm looking at it. At the beginning, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be trading this, but we have a breakout. Maybe the retest might be worth it to throw some $2,100 to it, depending on your wallet size. So some casino money to maybe make that movement to the upside. So far, so good. That's what I got on the altcoins.
Awesome. Shout out to Frank. Frank said he got an entry on Zcash at 128 yesterday. So shout out to Frank. Nice play there, bro. If you guys want gold to pull back, I tell you what, I might just drop 10 grand on some gold. And that will guarantee that it does a pullback for you guys. Cause that's just how it happens, right? So I got you. I got you all. Don't worry about it. OC, that's all we got time for today. You got to run over and do your ChartPrime class, and then I'll see you in a little while for TA Plus over there. And then we got Chart Hackers today. It's a busy day. A lot of classes to do and a lot of money to make. So let's go ahead and head on out of here. Appreciate you, man. You got anything for the people on the way out, OC?
Not much. Be careful right now in the market. Do not trust the market. Do not get it all like set up or believe that it's all said and done. And expect the unexpected by having a stop loss. Always use a stop loss. Other than that, that's
Awesome.
what I got for the family here.
Awesome. Appreciate you, OC. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Guys, make sure you tune in to OC tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for trade setups with OC Guy doing what you guys just saw. And he does this every evening. So Monday through Friday, make sure you guys tune in, check him out there. Appreciate you, OC. Guys, we're going to be heading out of here over to Crypto Coin Mindset right now. They're going to be breaking down some more alpha for you guys. So make sure when you guys get over there, drop the graduation caps. Let them know the alumni have entered the building. We'll be back tomorrow morning, starting off the day with BC Port Corp doing Good Morning Crypto. And then we'll be back here at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, breaking down the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, the macro, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management. Peace, love, profits. And as always, be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Later, guys.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?